Don't forget to check out and grab your copy of our 2 newly released books, Football: A Love Story and What Did Football Teach Me? These books feature over 100 stories from current and former coaches, players, executives, and entertainers from across the football landscape, describing what got them involved in the game, what they love about it, and what life lessons the game taught them. You can find your copy or order your copy from our website at footballgameplan.com/books. First, let's start with the player profile for Julian Campenni out of UConn, a defensive tackle at 6 feet 300 pounds who graded out as a second-round talent, and I think his game compares favorably to Stephen Paya of the Washington Redskins. I got the chance to see Julian Campenni live last year versus SMU and this past season versus East Carolina, and the first thing that instantly jumps out at you is how powerful at the point of attack Campenni is, and what he gives up in height and leverage he doesn't give up in the core strength department. And because of that, he's able to maintain the line of scrimmage on a consistent basis, get off blocks, and then make the play. He gives offensive linemen fits because I think it's next to impossible to move him off the spot. This, in my opinion, is very impressive and once again shows you that size is not a skill. And I've seen defensive tackles at 6'5", 350 not be able to anchor and occupy like Campenni does on a consistent basis. Obviously, playing defensive line is twofold, as the position requires you to be able to stop the run and also apply pressure on the quarterback. Now, Campenni excels here also. There's no one way to apply pressure. You can't just assume because of his size that a player is a certain style of a pass rusher, because Campenni's height and weight would lead you to believe that he's a 3-tech quickness type of a pass rusher, but in reality he's an excellent one-gap penetrator and pocket collapser. He shows good power rushing skills as well, and whatever it takes to disrupt the timing of the play or getting the quarterback off his platform, he's able to find a way consistently. Now, once you break the line of scrimmage, you better have an idea of what's going on. Otherwise, you'll end up being a blind bull in a china shop. But Campenni isn't nowhere near that, as he does a great job in playing with his eyes and shows good spatial awareness and the ability to find the football. So when you combine the point of attack strength, the block shedding, and the spatial awareness, you now have the opportunity to occupy gaps as a defensive lineman. I think Campenni does this in a variety of ways. Sometimes it's the old-fashioned way of beating your guy and staying gap sound, or sometimes it's using the offensive lineman himself as the occupier, which then allows him essentially to two-gap the hole. I think this is probably the most impressive part of his game. Football coaches around the world will tell you that hustle can get you any and everywhere you want to go on a football field. And while Campenni may not be the Warren Sapp, Geno Atkins, Aaron Donald type of defensive tackle, his hustle constantly puts him in position to be a disruptive force down in, down out. You can tell he was well coached at UConn. An area of improvement I saw in Campenni's game is that he has to do a better job of keeping his feet. At times, because he's so strong, he'll try to control an offensive lineman by only using his upper body and not bringing his feet with him. And that'll end up sacrificing leverage, and he'll end up on the ground or completely out of the play. Now, this is an area where I think he can continue to grow his game moving forward. So all in all, there's a lot to like about Julian Campenni's game out of UConn. Again, don't look at his height or his weight. I think he can anchor as a nose tackle, maybe a quicker nose tackle in a 3-4 defense. He can probably play shade or a one-tech very well, but I do think the future is bright for the 6-foot, 300-pounder coming out of UConn.